listen to the show and peep what these dudes bring. If you didn't know, it's an orange and blue thing. Hope to win the championship and a few rings. We're talking baseball. It's an orange and blue thing. Walk off if the game's tied like shoestrings. It's a Mets podcast, orange and blue thing. Beat the other team with defense and a few swings. LFGM, it's an orange and blue thing.
What's up, Mets fans? Happy Monday morning.
Monday morning.
We haven't done a morning show in quite some time. I know Julia just got some sad news. Maybe we'll get to it towards the end of the show. We got a few things to run through because we are going to welcome Daniel and Tori Murphy to the show, which is very, very exciting.
Happy news I needed.
Happy news. Yeah, for sure. Turn the tables a little bit because Julia got some sad news, but we'll talk about that later.
Cliffhanger.
So an early show. The Mets are still in first place. And guess how many days, if you had to guess? I don't know if you saw Anthony DiComo's tweet, but how many consecutive days have the Mets been in first place now?
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 70-ish?
Almost 65 days the Mets have been in first place. So each week we recap a little bit what's been going on with the Mets. As you know, if you're one of the fact checkers, we love you in the comments. Yes. Thanks for showing up early here on Monday. Maybe you're having coffee. Maybe you're on the West Coast. You're just waking up, drying the salt out of your eyes, the sand out of your eyes, whatever it may be. But the Mets are 47-40. They are still 7 games over 500, and they are 3.5 games over Philly. And besides Philly, every team Philly's a 500 team. Yep. Besides them, everyone's under. So as long as the Mets keep doing what they're doing,
it's the Mets division to lose.
They got through that stretch. They got through those 31 days with like a billion games, these rain delays, so on and so forth. The Mets are still doing their thing. So on the bright side, besides being in first place for almost 70 days, the trade deadline is coming up soon, and I don't think that Stevie Cohen is going to let us not bolster.
We got to make a move.
What we got going on over here, of course,
for sure.
So we're good, guys.
Love
Exhale. I know yesterday sucked. The bullpen game yesterday. Loop came in, did his thing.
I know.
And then the
Mets did his thing at first.
The Mets scored 5 runs right off the bat, but things happened and they lost the game. So unfortunately, it is what it is. They went off. They ended the first half of the season on a low note. But
we got Pete in the home run derby tonight. Looking to repeat. So repeat. Sorry.
Repeat.
I'll see myself up.
Alonso. So Pete Alonso going tonight. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, I want Pete to win, but I'm really excited to see Shohei Ohtani out there.
Honestly,
the story of baseball.
Yeah, the home run derby is so fun now. I'm really excited for it, especially for Ohtani. I'm excited to actually get to see him live. I haven't yet this season. So.
Yeah. All right, so let us know where you're watching from in the comments. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope as we are each week. The show does go up as a replay afterwards, but we have more fun when we get to interact with the fans in the comments if you happen to be watching live. So share the show right now if you want to be put in the running to win some free stuff from the Mets. Again, I don't know what it is yet, but we're going to get some free stuff from the Mets.
Love it.
We'll get to the winners from last week's free Jacob deGrom jersey at the end of the show, but share the show right now. And let your friends know that you are watching Orange and Blue Thing. It's very easy. Just post on your wall on Facebook, retweet if you're watching on Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, just go do one of those things after the show.
Love it.
But so All-Star Game is tomorrow and the Home Run Derby is tonight. So you definitely want to stock up on your brewskis.
For sure.
I know I'm going to be partaking in some Coors Lights tonight. So go to CoorsLight.com/OABT. And once you type in your birthday and your zip code here, you can choose how you're going to get your beers delivered. So here are the options: minibar, saucy, Instacart, and Drizzly, whatever you may want to use. Let's put in the zip code here and see what comes up. You hit the little search button. Very easy. And then you buy online. Super simple, very easy to do. And we recommend you do that as well. So Coors Lights, a great friend of the show. We love drinking the Coors Lights. Perfect for the game days. Perfect for after a race, which we don't have to get into. But yeah, I won the state championship yesterday. But it's not really a big deal. I'm not really even celebrating it too much because it was kind of a cakewalk, but whatever.
Listen, we said it was light competition. Coors Light for competition light.
Absolutely.
Any scenario, you can have Coors Light.
Stock up on your Coors Lights. Always remember to celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. So, we were out at the game a couple days ago. We got to see that incredible Nimmo catch like 20 feet away. But you were late.
I wasn't late. I was getting food. I was in the stadium before anybody else. I got stuck on a freaking Shake Shack line. But I did watch it as it was happening on the screen. You blew it. I celebrated with other fellow 7-Line Army members who were next to me in line. So it was like the same situation. It was basically the same thing as if I were in the stands.
It was not even close to the same because the ball was coming our way and we all thought it was out. There. Everyone in the stands, like that was sitting with us, where they all kind of just like exhaled. It was so quiet.
Yeah,
you could hear a pin drop, and then Nimmo jumps up. He cleared the fence by a foot or so, and all you heard was the smack of the ball hitting the glove. I thought it almost went through the webbing.
Oh my gosh!
And then if you watch the replay or you listen to Gary's call, he wasn't sure that it was caught until after we were already celebrating. It was unbelievable. So
you saw it first.
Oh yeah, it was insane. That's so Tim Riley put this up. If you're watching live, you can kind of see it. I don't think you can hear that, but it's gonna replay. Watch this. Wow. He has an arrow to where he was standing with his arms raised in the air. Shout out to Tim.
So cool.
He came straight to the game. He had a red-eye flight from, I don't know where he was coming from, but he had a red-eye flight. I think he was in Reno for something work related. His real job, not the side hustle he does on the 7 line, but he did the red eye and came straight to the game.
That's dedication.
Yeah,
red eye's hard to go.
Reno to New York, straight to the ball game.
That's hard.
He probably felt that he was dreaming.
Yeah,
he sees this Nimmo catch. He's like, "Am I Awake? Is this a dream?
Is this real life?" It was first inning, right?
Yeah, first inning.
Yeah,
and he was like 10 feet away. Maybe 25 because they keep moving the fence in.
Listen, at least it was worth the trip. The rest of the game kind of sucked. So at least he got that. But it was doubleheader. Second game was awesome. You weren't there for it, but
yeah, I had to duck out early. I kind of felt weird leaving because it wasn't really an outing. Like I didn't commit to 2 games. I was like, all right,
tell yourself what you need to.
But it's the truth.
I
know. Our game on our schedule was for the first game. So it's
agree.
like I gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry guys.
No, it was fine. It was fine. We had a great time without you. So no big deal.
All right. So also don't forget, if you are going to stock up on those Coors Lights, you want to pour it into something that is perfect for the baseball fan, go to dugoutmugs.com and check out their offerings. They got all the different options for the baseball fan out there. So any team, any option that you might want to pick up, they got the bat mugs, they got the knob shots, they got the wine openers, they got everything. But you can get yourself a free Dugout Mugs knob shop by going to dugoutmugs.com/7line, and it brings you to the page where you can select the team that you want, and they'll ship it to you for free. Sorry, I'm jumbling my words here for a second because I had the site pulled up.
The live show, guys.
Yeah, live show. And for some reason it didn't redirect to where I wanted it to, but there you go.
There we go.
So you get your free knob shot. You just have to pay the shipping and handling, which is $8.95. You can't expect them to give you something for free and also mail it to you. So get your free knob shot by going to dugoutmugs.com/7line. How they have been doing this for basically a month now is beyond me because this is a lot of inventory that they're basically just giving you guys for nothing. So head on up to dugoutmugs.com and they'll ship one out to you today.
Love it. All right. Are they here? Are we
They
ready?
are here. The Murphys are here.
Everyone, this is what everyone tuned in for. We have 2 very special guests today. You know, one of our guests as the Mets 2014 All-Star Game representative, the 2015 NLCS MVP, the record holder for consecutive playoff games with home runs, 6 straight, in case anyone happened to forget somehow, and the infielder willing to play anywhere and everywhere for the Mets from 2008 to 2015. You should also know that his wife, our second guest, is an equally impressive human being in her own right. She has used her platform and connection to the game of baseball to change the lives of foster girls around the country by founding Prom Series, which strives to provide foster girls with confidence and self-worth by pampering them with the big league treatment. So she's managed to connect with foster care agencies in the local areas of each of the 30 big league teams, recruiting the help of other baseball wives around the league in her mission. They have big plans in the works, and we can't wait to hear all about them. So please welcome Daniel and Tori Murphy. Hello, guys.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Thanks for having us, Julia.
Thank you for being here.
Sorry about that. Apologies.
No, all good. I heard we have a kid homesick today. So whenever you guys need to bow out, just let us know. No big deal, okay?
Oh, that's gracious of you. We got 2 of them out to camp for the first time in about 2 weeks. So we've learned for our first summer that we're not doing baseball, that, well, you have to entertain your children during the summer. And it's been quite interesting, but it's been fun.
Yeah, it's our 18-day baby. Our oldest.
Oh, okay. Well, awesome. No worries. We'll get right into it. So, Tori, let's start with you. Why don't you tell us in your own words exactly what Prom Series is, why you started it, and what you guys do?
Prom Series is just, it's been near and dear to my heart. I was exposed to foster care kids when I was teaching back before I was following Daniel around full time. And basically what we do, we started off providing girls in foster care with a brand new prom dress. And then we kind of had to adapt and modify because obviously we know COVID kind of wiped out proms for a while. So right now what we're launching is our back to school drive, where we provide brand new back to school outfits for girls in foster care. All across the second year. This is our second one.
Awesome.
Yeah, so last year was-
We got a fact checker here too.
It's funny. We have people watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. And whenever we don't know something, we call our commenters the fact checkers in a good way. So
Right.
they always fact checked us here.
You do it in real time too. So
Exactly.
It's awesome.
well, she did it on the fly last year. Like she had planned to do 5 stadiums, I believe, for the prom dresses. Because the first one she did, we were able to get the girls in Denver to the stadium in a suite. Some wives, girlfriends helped you out, and fiancés just grabbed a foster care girl and was like, hey, you're worth being loved and seen. Come with us. We're going to do your hair, get your makeup done, get your prom dress, watch a baseball game. And so from 1 went to 5. And then, well, we all know that COVID happened. So the creative thinker over here on the fly did a back to school drive by herself because I was out getting my teeth kicked in Denver by all of these baseball players who were getting too young and good. So.
Oh, I love it. Get you a hype man like Daniel Murphy. Awesome.
It is. Yeah.
Since I'm not working anymore, all I do is just encourage her. I'm like, both of them, baby. I love it.
Yes.
She deserves it. It's awesome.
So speaking of the wives, we know that you have a strong connection with Cabernet and the rest of the wives, and you were out at Citi Field recently. Why don't you tell us what that was all about?
Yeah, so Cab is the smartest like VP of Prom Series for all time. She makes us look professional. I went up to Citi Field. Kittenish was a brand that has jumped on our mission like right out the gates, and they have donated so many clothes. So we kind of went up there. We got all the New York Mets wives together. We organized a bunch of clothes and donated them all to the New York Foundling. And we had a big truck drive it downtown, and the anxiety I had thinking about the truck driving downtown, Cab's like, do you think you could drive it? I'm like, girl, never. I like driving up there to you guys is like a whole new ball game. Like that's an Olympic sport in itself. But
we sampled the moving trucks a little bit in New York, and that's not we move a little slower down here in Jacksonville. We would be completely overwhelmed. But Cab, I hear Michael's fiance Cab all the time. Tori talking about her, just glowing reports. Sarah Walker as well too has been helping us out, and so I say us, Tori, and so it's been so much fun to see them create like on the fly as well too. And so again, and thank you guys for having us on here, because the project coming up with the back to school, the second annual one right now is only 10 days out if I'm not mistaken. So there's a ton of excitement right now, kind of trying to push it through the goal line. So thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. No, as soon as we heard about it last year, I was like, listen, Tori Murphy is one of the greatest people I've ever met. And so if there's any person to be running something like this, somebody who knows how to make people so, feeling so warm and welcome, you're the perfect person to be doing it. So we are always happy to give you a platform whenever you need. We did talk about the back to school event last year, and that was what I was going to ask you about next. You guys have brought it back. You had so much success with it last year. So what do you have in the works for this year? What's going on?
So this year we're trying to up the ante a little bit. So there's 7 stadiums this year that are going to host the back to school drive in person.
Awesome.
So basically what we do is that the wives on the team, so we right now have a rep for all 30. So what we do is the agency, we have 26 agencies lined up because we kind of double up in like LA and the Angels and stuff. And so either they want a closet, so when girls come into foster care, they just have a closet to pull clothes for, or they're giving me exact names, which is so awesome because then we're like personalizing it with like stage, like writing them a note and really trying to get like, really, we see you and we think you're amazing. And so then what we do is we get this back to school outfit with their exact sizes, the exact names. And then the wives are going to put all the clothes together and then we wrap it in a baseball jersey to kind of bring it back to the game. And like, it's been really cool to see. I've gotten like pictures back of girls in their jerseys and it's just been, obviously, can you tell it's my favorite thing?
No, it's so amazing. You can see the passion in your face, in your voice. I love it. I am so happy you're here. So I know this is predominantly a thing you do, with the other wives around baseball, but if there's anybody else who wants to get involved, are there any ways we can help or support? How can other people help you out?
Yeah. So Cab is opening a PO box in New York. So we'll have it all on we're super Instagram heavy right now because that's like where our main traffic is coming from. So if you can jump on our Instagram page and give us a follow, and we're going to have our PO box on there. So all we ask is just like a brand new outfit that you would see a teen of all ages. We're getting introduced into get boys involved in all of the above. So awesome. Just a brand new outfit that is school appropriate.
Right.
The mom part of me comes out. Sometimes in sports, I was like, girls, no. But and you guys can send it to the PO boxes, and especially all the Mets fans, we're getting it right out to the NY fan who needs a bunch of stuff.
Awesome. So are there any particular sizes that you're usually low in that, you would need? I know there's all different sizes.
Yeah.
So.
It's a really astute. That's
so normally if we had to go, I always go larger.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I ask the girls just to shop in their own size. So it's kind of like we go to the bigger sizes, but really we could fit any needs.
Okay.
Anything kind of works.
I'd say there's no really wrong answers, even though it's we don't have anywhere to specifically target you. I think one of the cool things that Tori has, anyone that chooses to help, and thank you, is express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Go and shop and express yourself.
Totally.
We'd love to have those clothes. And I could tell you the girls and all of those who've been neglected and are experiencing abandonment right now, it's like the Prom Series and other organizations it's like, we see you and you're worth being loved. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so this is our small gesture to you to say hey, the God of the universe sees you, you're worth being loved. And we're going to try to move into that. And our hats off to anyone else who's, in that space as well too, with, girls and boys and just the marginalized.
Sure. Absolutely. I love that, guys. This is amazing. Cannot wait to see where it goes. If there is anything else you would like to plug in terms of Prom Series, their Instagram is @Prom Series. Go follow them. I will give you the floor. Anything else you want to say, go for it. I want to make sure you're getting as much as you can out of this time.
That's it. It's honestly, we're just super excited. We have it locked in. We're going to try to get all the jerseys and make it fun. And the Yankees and the Mets wives are giving to the same spot. So it's going to be exciting. It's exciting to see their style, right?
Yeah.
I love opening these boxes because I'm like, dang, girls, outfit.
Everyone's unique style. Awesome.
Fans are gonna
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
We're in first place right now, right? The
Right.
Mets in first place. I'll ask you guys, how does it feel to wake up on the All-Star break in first place?
Oh my God.
Listen,
This hasn't happened since 2010 was the last time they were at least above 500, this far above 500.
But I was saying to Julia, it's been 65. The Mets have been in first place for 65 days. It doesn't feel like it, but they've been in first place for a while.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I've followed the Mets, the Rockies probably the most closely. And
tell them what you did.
How you gonna?
Tell them what you did.
So I went up to Atlanta with our oldest son, Noah, to watch Jake.
Awesome. I love that.
When Nolan Ryan and Sandy Koufax and Tom Seaver pitch, I wanted to be a part of it. So I took my son. Saw him go up there. He gave up the 3. They jumped him early, first and third. Nobody
so it's
out.
your fault. It's because you were there.
He's like, I'm going to pitch off 14 of you and to retire 18 straight. It was an absolute treat. I was
awesome.
So good.
Yes. He didn't tell anybody he was going, though. That was the best part.
Right. And I think that's special.
Took a picture and then sent it to Jake after and was like, I saw you.
Yeah. That was a treat, Jake. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, but it's nice. Just a day with you and your son. I love that.
Yes,
that's
it was fun. Beautiful ballpark in Atlanta as well, too.
It's a new one, right? Awesome.
Yeah, the Battery. It's nice.
Yeah. So speaking of which, and you in baseball, our last guest was Jeremy Wolf from More Than Baseball. And we have a thing on here where we have our last guest asked our next guest a question. So we asked Jeremy if he had a question for you. And so Jeremy said, Daniel, you donated $100,000 to our Baseball Life More Than Baseball Minor League Baseball Family Assistance Fund to ensure that players supporting a child or family member received assistance during quarantine. Why was it so important for you and your family to make such an impactful contribution to More Than Baseball and minor league baseball players? Amazing, by the way.
Well, thank you. And I think that some of it is just the blessing of the fruits kind of that we've been blessed with. And, looking at the More Than Baseball is we all have our industries. And when the COVID happened, you just see story after story of just families and, individuals and, fiancés and children as well, too, that these couples have, they don't know where their next paycheck's coming from. And, it was a small gesture, I felt like on our part, but one that we wanted to make, hey, we we want to try to help you as much as we can. And we tried to keep the dialogue open with more than baseball as well, too. And there were others who partnered as well, too, if I'm not mistaken. I think Adam Wainwright and a couple other guys. But it was really our pleasure because, you know, we know what it's like to go through the minor leagues. But I never went through the minor leagues when the world was on fire, you know, with the coronavirus and not knowing where your next paycheck is coming from, or a bit of feeling, I think, of what am I aiming at? Because there's no baseball either. And I remember that when I was in the minor leagues, like baseball was, I love you, sweetheart. Baseball was a pretty serious focus of mine. And without it, I would have felt unpinned. And so as we talked about, it's like, how can we try to help? I hope it did. We hope it did. And again, you know, more than baseball and these organizations that we're trying to help what little we can.
Right. That's awesome. Amazing.
So, you know, we heard.
Well, I got to interrupt. I got to get ready for a question at the end. Who's the next guest so I can prep it?
We have to figure that out. That's a great question. Any suggestions? Who would you like to ask a question to?
You not tell us.
Listen, if there's anyone you have a question for, let us know and we'll see what we can do. We're open to ideas.
So let me ask you, you heard, you know, you're wasting no time staying busy. So did you go back to school?
I did. I took 2 classes at Jacksonville University, here, the school that I left to become a Met. I was glad I made that decision 15 years ago. It was nice to get back in the classroom. Took a U.S. history class from 1865 to present, and then the philosophy class blew my mind hole. I had a blast.
So you're actually going to class, or this is all like online?
No, he went.
I went in.
No way.
Backpack. I took a picture.
No.
I made him take a first day of school.
Yep. Me and our oldest had our first day of schools
on the same day.
One of them was on the philosophy classes on site, which was quite enjoyable to exchange ideas. So that I really enjoyed, and they gave me my degree. Now, by the letter of the law, I probably don't have all of the classes necessary, but
you did good.
Yeah.
You did.
That's awesome. That's something you've wanted to do since, you know, you knew you were going into the big leagues. Eventually you wanted to come back to this.
I wasn't sure. And then when I had all this free time, kind of, without baseballs being hurled at me, I thought I'll go back to class and try to learn a little bit. And it was fun. And I'm glad I did it. And I'm glad Tori, she was encouraging. I will say, for those who do, I did 2 classes with the queen trying and then the 3 kids. It's like, it was a bit much. I don't like to write. It's difficult to organize my thoughts writing, but grinded it out, got 2 A's. I was very excited.
Awesome. There's a little humble brag in there. I love it.
I think 1 class is probably about as much as I could do.
Well, you took it serious. You read everything you had to. Like,
I mean,
I was like, you realize probably nobody else in the class is doing that, but it's okay.
So the All-Star game is tonight, and I have no shame in saying, you know how you're not supposed to wear like the T-shirts or the band you're going to see? I'm wearing the Daniel Murphy 2014 All-Star game jersey right now.
YOWZERS shirt on over here.
Julia's rocking the YOWZERS.
The only ones who own that jersey.
What's that?
I think you and I are the only ones who own that jersey. You and me.
That's not true.
I got my special order in. My Taiwan Walker jersey's coming tomorrow. I'm having it overnighted. So yeah, it's my thing. I got a jersey each year only for the All-Star game, so I selected yours. But so 2014 was your first trip to the All-Star game. You won't talk about 16 and 17 with the Nats, but what was it like your first year going out there? I think you were the only selection from the Mets. So what was it like going out there your first year?
If I'm not mistaken, David had spent that year a bit of that first half on the shelf. So it was kind of a who do we send from the Metropolitan sort of thing. So it was us. We had a blast. I probably felt, I wouldn't say out of place, but there were a lot of guys there that I revered, if that makes sense. And to be in the same place with them, with these elite players, was a ton of fun. I think it was Derek Jeter's last All-Star game, if I'm not mistaken. Adam Wainwright started. Jeter hit a double down the line. I think I punched out on a backward K, if I'm not mistaken, or something. So it was a blast. It really was. It moved fast, but we had a ton of fun. Jay Horowitz and my mom went with us. Jay was on the plane with us. And well, anytime you go anywhere with Jay, you're going to have fun. Like, it's going to be a proper adventure. And it was.
That's awesome.
We had Jay on the show. We had Jay on the show earlier this year. He was a riot. He's a great guy. Actually, last week I had a pocket dial from him. I think it was like a pocket FaceTime. I knew it was definitely accidental.
Such a treasure.
But I didn't call him back because I figured that's what it was.
Like a rite of passage as a Met, or if you're in the media around the Mets, like Jay Horwitz is going to pocket dial you.
Yes,
absolutely.
Rite of passage.
So, are you actually surprised? You're talking about your experience there. Are you surprised how many players opted out from going this year to the All-Star game?
Yeah, it seems I've seen, Ken Rosenthal has written about it, and I've been reading a little bit, and I'm not mistaken. Buster kind of mentioned something about it only, and it, one of the takes that Ken had is that it seems to be with the coronavirus and last season, and then kind of a bit of the shutdown and the quarantine movement, that some of the guys are opting more like, I need a break, and I think it's their choice. Is the way I would look at it. It seems the fans want to see the best players, and but as far as the players go, like somebody like Jake, who's dealt with injuries twice this first half, and the Mets themselves are hoping to do something special at the beginning of the second half. And I haven't seen the schedule or the rotation if Jake's starting, but there's something to be said about trying to go win a division. So I would say each organization, each individual is trying to figure out what they feel like's best for them and their family. And I'd say the freedom of this country is like, go express yourself, within the rules.
Totally.
Yeah, we hope he's going to line up with us. We're going to be in Pittsburgh next weekend. We got 1,400 fans hitting the Saturday game.
Where you guys going to be in the stadium?
Left field bleachers. Yeah, it's going to be. We basically took over the whole bleachers, so it's going to be a good time.
Very
As well, you should have.
Yeah. We were there in 15, I think, and
May 2015.
It was Harvey's worst game of his career up to that date, so it was a bad day for us, and a bad day for him too.
Better luck this time.
Fingers crossed for Saturday.
Yeah.
So you were talking a lot about DeGrom. Obviously, you went out to see him pitch. As a teammate of his, and you watched him early on in his career, could you have predicted that this is the guy that he was going to turn into, and the kind of success and dominance he's been having so far lately?
No. Well, he can't be hit. Who predicts that? I went and watched him. Like, he goes and grabs 101 just because he gets a little bit upset that they start hitting him. He did it twice against the Braves. So no, I wouldn't have predicted it, but I also wouldn't have necessarily put past Jake extracting from his body, and his ability as much as he could, just because of the man that he is. I've seen his work ethic. I've seen who he is as a husband to Stacy and a father to his children. And so, yeah, for him to be the best pitcher on the planet, I don't think is necessarily surprising, but he still had to go do it and put in the work and delay gratification. And so, yeah, he's fun to watch. I try to watch him every fifth day. That's
awesome.
DeGrom day.
Yeah, it's DeGrom day in the house. Like, I tell my son, I go, Jake's pitching. He's like, Jake throws hard. I was like, you're right. Freaking hard, man.
Jake throws hard. Put it on a t-shirt, Darren.
Yeah. I got a t-shirt in the works. It's pretty bold and to the point with DeGrom. It should be coming out soon. But speaking of t-shirts, we're talking about YOWZERS and DeGrom there. So this moment that we have from 2015.
Barstool. I got to see if they're still making him. It was back in the day. We'll reach out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it was like 6 years ago.
It's an old one, but we'll get you. We'll figure it out.
So this YOWZERS moment
on me right there. And then David is laughing in the corner too. None of them want to try to help me. Not at all. It was pretty funny though.
Oh, but is YOWZERS in your vocabulary? Do you say yeah? Because where did
that come from? Was that just instinctual?
It was so instant. YOWZERS has to be something you say often.
He does have a lot of different words.
Some of my teammates have said that my vocabulary can be a bit unique, as if you can't really understand. Yeah, Murphisms.
Yeah,
so they just came flying out. I guess it's better than a 4-letter word because we get to use it over and over.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, so let's keep talking about 2015. Obviously, that incredible run. I want to know what that was like for both of you. Daniel, did you realize how out of your mind you were when you were in it? And Tori, what was it like watching it?
Honestly, we always talk about it. We didn't talk about it when it was happening. It was a crazy time where let's just not acknowledge it and let's keep going. There were 2 times I realized, okay, this is something crazy. The third home run you hit in a row, there was a guy filming his at bat in front of me. And I was like, I wonder why this guy's filming Daniel hit. That's so weird. And then he smoked it. And then we took Noah to the park on the off day in between Chicago and I think it was right then. And I don't know why, for some reason, I had him in these neon Nike shoes. All of the kids at the park come over and they're like, is that Noah? is Daniel his dad, Daniel Murphy? And I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I was like, this is something crazy. And they like flooded him at the park. It was the cutest thing ever. And like, so I have this really cute picture of him holding Noah and like signing autographs to all these kids at the park. It was adorable. But
That's
I was
amazing.
Like, oh, this is,
yeah, I
we're
think
doing this. We're doing it.
It probably got a bit bigger than we thought while we were in the middle of it. And
we did.
I asked that question earlier a little bit. And one of the things that I thought of in the midst of it, at least in the baseball, especially through the NLCS, was kind of a level of peace that I had at the plate. And it also didn't hurt that it seemed like each time I got up, like there were always people on base, like David was on base or Grant was on base. And we all know what Cespedes had done. And, you know, Duda's hitting home runs in Chicago with Darno. So, but I felt this peace that when my eyes at the plate said, go and get your swing off, that I was making good decisions and I was hitting the ball. And I would say specifically the third one off of John Lester, game one, when that ball went out and I hit it, I was going around bases like I almost wanted to whisper. It's like
I still get goosebumps when you talk about it. Is that the one you have?
That was the one the next night. Okay. The one off Lester, though, I kind of whispered to myself, it was like, I think I might be locked in. Like I didn't want to touch it.
Right.
Like, no.
We can talk about it.
Like but I think I might be going.
I'd be doing something here.
Yeah. Well, the time off between game 5 was only a day, but I didn't know if I was going good or not. It just we played well against the Dodgers and won that series, and so now here's a new one. And about the third or fourth pitch I saw, I was like, "Oh snap, that's out of the ballpark." I think I might be going pretty good. And well, the next night, Grandy gets on. David hits a double, and before you can blink, we're up 1-0, and I hook one around the hole, and we're off.
That was my favorite one. Because he hooked it in the foul pole, and where the family section was, it was like behind, like I couldn't tell if it was out.
Right. I
remember being in Citi Field and hearing the roar that like came at you from both sides when he hit it. Like literally, I still like that's the one where I was like, oh my god, you just hit that.
I remember David at home plate because I gave him a 2-hander. Like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, big swing, like we are off, you know.
That's awesome. And it's so funny because you mentioned Noah, and we saw your Instagram story. You guys were away, and somebody asked like, oh, were you a Major League Baseball player? And I said, oh no, he just played baseball sometimes. Does he keep you humble? Like,
best.
So like, funny.
The MLB, and Daniel was like, you're gonna tell him? He's like, no. Goes the MLB? No, you just play baseball sometimes.
That's amazing. Kids are the best.
It's like the MLB. No, that wasn't on the team.
The MLB. No. He just left every day.
Yeah,
and he'd disappear for a week at a time.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my God. I love it. So we're talking October baseball in Queens. Fingers crossed. All goes according to plan. Should hopefully be back there this year. So what advice are you giving to the young guys who have not played postseason baseball at all, or especially in New York?
Enjoy it. Like enjoy the run. I think it's easy to get caught up because you experience so much, I would say, anxiety or a bit of dread when you're going to perform each night because you value it so much. Like you want to do well for yourself and your team. But there's something about a willingness to stare that in the face each night, that anxiety, that find the enjoyment out of it. Because when the other side of it, you're now the person who could look it right in the face and go out there and do it. Whether you play well or don't, try to find a way to enjoy it, which is easier said than done because we care so much.
Right.
Like the guys, they care. Like I've really enjoyed watching Frankie Lindor because I don't think it's unreasonable for him to say he hasn't swung the bat or performed as offensively as well as he would like. Sure. But I see him out there on defense. He's smiling. I see him with his teammates in the dugout. First one right there cheering him on. It's like, man, that guy's getting enjoyment out of his game, even though it might not be going exactly how he wants at the plate. And I'm like, I wish I would have done that more, but that would be my advice is enjoy the day.
Awesome.
So we wish we would have been able to see you do more of that after 15, but we all know what happened.
Yes.
So it seemed like you took some great pleasure in beating us once you left.
Yeah, it was a little personal.
So why do you say that?
I mean,
why? Is it something I did? Or
and you know, honestly, I don't blame you either. You know,
not at all.
I don't blame you one bit. But
at least we were all rooting for you. I mean, we can't speak for everyone, but
not against us. I wasn't.
No.
So were you specifically trying to get Sandy to admit that not resigning you was like his biggest regret as GM, or
was
what
that
was
the goal?
What was the fuel behind all that?
So that's a
Because he did come out. Did you see he came out?
Because, well, Sandy and I have talked, and I love
he has said that. We all know it.
That was one of the most gracious compliments I've ever gotten in the industry, ever, when he said that. It's like, with his resume, I mean, he began in Oakland in the early 80s and, you know, just kind of transformed how baseball was looked at when he was the A's general manager. So I thought about this. Kelly Johnson mentioned when he was with us in 15, he said, you always seem to play well against your former team, you know, especially the first one. And I didn't really understand it until playing against the Mets. And I think it was the intent and the focus maybe turned up just a tick, maybe for a regular season type game, especially the first time back, because, well, I'm used to going into a specific clubhouse, and I wasn't going into that clubhouse anymore. And it was all this unique and things that were these new experiences of being a visiting player. And it's like, all right, well, you better stay focused, because this is all new territory for you right here. I will say, to their credit, or maybe the detriment, the ushers and everyone who works at Citi Field were so gracious when we came back. They made us feel very welcome. It really made it feel like home, even though we were flying a different jersey. So I don't know if that's a good thing to tell her. They were awesome. So they would take care of Tori and our family when we came, and always we would have, you know, Dom and ushers and guys that just would come down to the visiting clubhouse, and I'd get to visit with them. So I think when you get to do life with people, and maybe that's what it was, like building in Citi Field, like we did life with people there for almost a decade, you know. And
that's awesome. It's good to know good people work for the team we root for. So that's awesome.
Really great people.
Are you kidding? Like Mama and Teresa in the kitchen, like it just like the best. Like I literally met Tony, the security guard. Like we sprinted to each other after that first game. I'm like, hey, friends. Yeah, so it was good. I
love that.
So I don't know. I'm sure you remember the whole "I'm with 28" and everything with Mets Police, the T-shirt with the 28 and the Shamrock on it. I think that Mets Police on Twitter was maybe like your #1 fan out there for sure. So I reached out to him and I asked him for a question. So I wanted to have him be a part of the conversation here.
Very straight up.
And he said, let me get to it here.
Direct quote.
You switched positions to help the franchise and lost an entire year of your career learning the position. Then you caught grief because you weren't the best glove there. Was that frustrating?
I don't think it's any secret that I wasn't the best defender. You know what I mean? And then sometimes I'd run the bases like I was invisible. And so you could say there was rarely a dull moment, but I don't think it was necessarily, I wouldn't call it like frustrating in the sense that, well, I kept getting opportunities to play at like the highest level for this great organization. And well, was it a straight path? Like, well, no. Like, few things worth being valued are. Like, it's got its deviations, and it's got its times where you get beat up a little bit. But I think at the end of it, being asked about our career, especially look back at our time in New York, was like, it wasn't always great. We didn't always play well. There were some awesome moments, but like it was ours. And that's the way I look at it, especially the time with the Mets, because I look back and even now, like Yuri's familiar. Like Yuri's and I came up together. When I see Juan Lagares out in Anaheim and Ruben Tejada and Wilmer Flores, and then Jake's still there. And Michael Conforto was a rookie hitting 2 home runs in the World Series coming up and helping us in a pennant race. Like there's such good memories. And I do think that there's some sweetness about if we were going to end being on that run that we were all able to go on ourselves and the fans in the city of New York in 2015 was it was a special one.
So after that 15 season, you know, Mets gave you the qualifying offer and you chose to decline, which ended up working out great for you. You know, bad for us, but great for you. But on the fan, on Joe and Evan, Gary Cohen was on and they brought up the discussion about bringing you back. And he paused and said, I have no interest, and that you were a net negative, which is something that always comes up now with fans because, you know, myself included, it's something that you can't. I was driving down the road and I almost drove into
my jaw dropped.
Yeah, my jaw dropped and almost drove off the road. I'm like, how could Gary be saying this about Murphy? Look what he just did, and you know, you're finally hitting your stride, and your potential obviously was there. So, did you hear about that? Was there any kind of like beef with Gary Cohen? It was something that like was very strange to me to hear from, you know, the TV voice of the Mets to go on the fan and say that you're a net negative after what you just did.
Yeah, I did hear about it, and I don't remember exactly when Gary said it, but I'm certain we hadn't cracked all those homers yet. And so he kind of
No, it was after the season,
which was insane.
Was
That's what made it so
ridiculous. Before.
Yeah,
I think it was before.
Show.
I think
really. I thought it was in like November.
I thought so too, but who knows?
At that point, I will say
he would know better than us.
I remember
the next year in Vieira, Gary specifically drove up from Port St. Lucie, came and asked and apologized and asked for forgiveness.
Well, that's good to hear.
That is like
good.
Well, such humility in that, and I was like, thank you very much for doing that. He didn't have to do that. Came all the way up from St. Lucie in spring training, and we were able to have a really good conversation. And so I have no ill will towards Gary. I don't feel any towards him. And so I enjoy watching Gary's and Keith. And then
making everybody eat crow around the bed.
Well, I'm glad I brought that up though, because that's something I'm glad that happened, because it's something that I can't forget it.
Yeah.
Where I was driving, when I heard it on the radio, I was like, I can't believe I'm hearing this right now. So I'm glad that that's kind of been put to rest.
No, it was good. It is. I was really enjoyable conversation when he came up. Really enjoyable.
So not to just completely start throwing everyone under the bus here, because I wanted to bring something else up as well. The climate of the world changed so much since 2014 to now, and I don't even think that this would be an issue today. But maybe people were more free with their mouth, that many years ago. So you decided in 2014 to take off a couple days and miss the home opener. Obviously, as a father myself, I could never imagine not being there for the birth of your child. So I totally understand that. And as other fathers out there like Boomer Esiason or Mike Francesa who have kids themselves, and Boomer, a former athlete, were you surprised that came up? And of course, it was probably an easy decision for you to be with your wife at such a, be with Tori at such an important time in your lives. But was that a hard decision for you, or was that just like a no-brainer?
It was something, as we started discussing it, it seemed like it was going to be pretty straightforward with our first child that Tori wanted me there and I wanted to be there. Now, we also had conversations about Quinn, was it Quinn? Because you were really pregnant with.
That was Drew.
Drew. Okay, sorry. There's three of them.
Hard to keep track.
We were pregnant. She was pregnant with Drew in the postseason of 2017.
Oh, wow.
And so it would have been a uniquely different conversation we were having because we were in the postseason. Right. So I think that what I've learned from that is the beauty of being a parent and fatherhood and motherhood is like the opportunity for you and your spouse or your significant other to have the conversation of what you think is best for your family. In that moment on opening day there, when we had decided like, I'd like to try to be there. And we had further conversations later with other children. Like, we're kind of playing this by ear because we don't know what's going to be going on, so to speak. So, I don't necessarily like surprised. I probably was a bit taken aback because it was the first day.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
I think when we kind of, I say she had the baby.
I was going to say, lots of process after just giving birth, having to be a conversation.
After she had the baby.
It was a funny story.
It was on the news a bit. It was on the news a bit. No.
Like my doctor came in, he had just left me to go back to play. And he was like, hey, don't turn on the Today Show. And I was like solo in the room. He had just left. I'm like, why? And I'm like, they're talking about you, kid. Like, we're on it. And full circle, you guys, fun story. When I took Noah back up to New York 5 weeks later, one of Boomer Esiason's greatest golf buddies was actually sitting next to me and started talking during the flight. And so, flying with your first kid, you have so much stuff. It is just like ridiculous. But I came through the airport and I remember his name is Paul. I think it was Paul. He carried all my stuff. He carried the car seat. Like I just had Noah coming down the escalator and he's like, who is this man? I'm like, he's really nice.
Yeah. Came up to him, she's like, this guy saved us.
You need to thank him. He had like all of my stuff. So it all worked out.
I love that. Karma.
So all that ended up leading to you being invited to the White House.
Yeah, it worked out just fine.
Right? Yeah, I am.
So that was pretty incredible. So what was that all about?
Wow, that one was crazy. Awesome, but a bit crazy because I came in from San Francisco.
Didn't sleep. I was like, suck it up, dude. We're getting
and was able to kind of put together a speech, prayed about it going in and just, wanted to use that opportunity for some I would say maybe some encouragement. Like, nobody's got everything figured out, but I've been blessed with a spouse to just get through, to struggle uphill with, maybe something like that. So yeah, that was good. Now I will say real life happened after that because we had Noah And so now it's an off day, if I'm not mistaken. It's an off day.
Yeah.
I love off days because off days mean you don't get out, not
Yeah.
once. Those are awesome. And so we're in DC trying to get to New York. I haven't slept. We're on the train and I'm just angry. And that's where the real life kind of happened. And so we made it home, but it wasn't without some conflict though. For sure.
Now we have those pictures.
And now we got the pictures.
Exactly.
You were in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are awesome. So we're gonna ask the fact checkers, aka the commenters, if they've got anything for you, and then we'll pull them in here into the stream. But I also wanted to bring something up because this is maybe like one of the highlights of my fan life.
Darren's been asking this question for about 6 years, so it's a big moment for him.
So we all go over to my buddy Shoemaker's house for the clinch miss. And we head up to the bar afterwards, and I'm buddies with someone who was on staff that day as the photographer the day you guys clinched in Cincinnati. And he sends me the photo of you holding our flag. It was in the USA Today. So the story behind that is our buddy Chris Duell, who lives in Chicago, big Mets fan. He went down for the clincher, for the hopeful clincher. You walked over and grabbed the flag, and then it ended up in the newspaper the next day.
Nice.
So I don't know if you remember that, if you ever even seen.
I remember the flag for sure.
But he never got it back, and I don't. Do you know where it is?
We were thieves, baby.
I mean,
we're
like,
thieves.
we don't know where anything is right now. That was
I don't know where. Like, I'm supposed to have a baseball or two that I think I hit out of the
somebody
ballpark.
probably jacked it. Let's just
are.
blame it on somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, I hope wherever the flag is, she's happy.
Well, he's in the comments here and he's writing hell yeah, but I replaced it for him, so it's no big deal. But wherever that flag is, I mean, I would hope that would be in Cooperstown or something like that.
Right?
I hope that whoever has it is pinned it up somewhere, because that was what Chris had it, and I was like, I don't know how many times you get to do this, so I'm going to go full broke on this baseball field about experiencing this, winning this division, because those don't happen very often. So,
well, sorry we took your flag.
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Chris.
I think it's okay. I think he's just fine with it.
Well, you know, this is kind of breaking news, because I maybe I'd leak this out. I'm not exactly sure, but I did tell Chris about it. Since we have the MLB license and we work with different vendors, we're actually coming out with the bobblehead version.
Oh, snap.
Oh, cool.
So we're coming out with the Daniel Murphy bobblehead holding the flag, 2015 National League champions. If you're listening afterwards and you can't see this, I'll post it out on Twitter afterwards. But
that's a really creative idea.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
But I made sure it was definitely accurate, saying, you know, you're not wearing the hat. We're gonna have the pants and the cleats perfectly matching.
Yeah, you went for it.
Yeah,
That was
I'm
good, Darren.
jealous that you're designing jackets now for the girls. Like, I'm like, dang it, I like missed the time period for that.
Yeah, we've been doing that for a few years now. I'm sorry.
Dang it.
So I want to ask you, maybe we can mail you out a couple bobbleheads, and then maybe we could do something. If you could sign a couple, if you could be so gracious, and we can raffle them off for charity or something.
For Prom Series.
There we go.
Whatever you want. Yeah. Let's go.
That
Best of both worlds.
Woohoo.
All right, so let's get to some questions here from the comments. I scrolled through one prior. I'm not exactly sure where it is now. I'm trying to scroll back, but
good. Lots of comments is good.
Yeah, lots of comments. One came up, actually, a guy emailed me and he said he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to pop in to the stream here to ask the question, but he did email it, so I'm going to just fire away with that one. When Wilmer Flores was traded, not traded, then ended up hitting that home run, you were going, like how you just said, you went ballistic with the flag. You jumped over
Your reaction was the best.
that railing, and you were just jumping around like a madman. So was that... What was that moment like for you as a teammate?
Loved him.
That one gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, he loved him.
Well, so Flo signed with us when he was 16 years old and from a different country. So it wasn't like it was a straightforward path. Like didn't know the language, you know what I mean? Or is learning one kind of on the fly, and he spoke English fluently and learned it quick. But anyway, all that to say that we'd come up in the minor leagues together. Our first instructs in spring training in 2006, like we were there together, and to see him just laid open naked in front of the whole world like that, vulnerable, it hurt my heart a lot. At shortstop the night before, because that's your guy and he's got nowhere to run. He just kind of on display, and there's nothing you could do for him except kind of just tell him you love him. Yeah. And then he cracked the homer and I was like, yes.
You can say the word. It's okay.
Yes,
it's fine.
and thrown it there. That's what happened. And so I came flying out, and I actually do remember jumping up in the air, because as I got up in the air, I was like, dang, I feel really high right now. And so that was it. Just this, I'd say maybe the same sort of emotional response that he was having on the field and the night before. Like, that's the euphoric feeling I had maybe on the other end. So like the yin and the yang, like as much as you can go one way, there's experience maybe that much darkness in one way, there's that much light in the other direction. And I was like, yeah, get out of here, ball. See ya.
So we got another one here. I know you were talking about your free time and then you went back to school, but Mets mom on Twitter wants to know, would you ever consider coaching at the MLB level at some time in the future?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know if somebody would want me. Should they want me? There's something about being in the midst of kind of the grind with the guys, that when you're doing life together and you have this same goal that you're attaining to. And I really enjoy talking about hitting as well too. And so, yeah, it's something that interests me. Right now, I would say that since this is the first time I've gotten to pick my own friends in like 20 years, picking this one and the kids, but I still watch baseball every night. I find it to be just supremely entertaining.
Yeah, I
enjoyable.
needed a minute. He didn't. I'm like, not ready.
Yeah, when I told her I was going to Atlanta, she's like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Should we go? And I was like, I'm going to watch Jake.
So it'll be Donnie Stevenson and Daniel Murphy as the approach coaches next year.
What a combo.
Sorry, Donnie Stevenson. So that's Alonzo, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they also hired this actor
I
now
keep my
who
pulse on him as best I can.
So this is more of just some props instead of a question. Seamus on YouTube wants you to know that he's your favorite player and you are the reason he wears number 28.
Oh,
that's awesome. Thank you, Seamus.
So listen, guys, you've been phenomenal. I know we took up way more time than you probably thought we were going to.
Especially with the sick kid at home.
We can't thank you enough for coming on. And honestly, anytime you want to come back on, if you ever want us to promote anything for you, Prom Series is phenomenal organization.
Follow them at Prom Series on Instagram. Don't forget.
Well, sincerely, thanks for having us. And you guys doing this like live on air, like what you've done with 7 Line is really an achievement. Like, congratulations to you. It's awesome for us to see from here, and for you guys to run the live show like this it's really impressive. So it's quite the achievement what you guys have done with 7 Line. Enjoy Pittsburgh. Hopefully the Mets get the W.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Guys.
Thank
you guys. Thank
Darren,
you.
Julia, thank you so much.
Bye. Oh, I love them so much.
That was great.
They're honestly, I could go on and on forever. I've always loved Daniel Murphy, but I am truly such a simp for Tori Murphy. I think she's just the coolest, most awesome human being. That was so much fun. I'm so glad we did that.
Yeah, everyone in the comments is checking in saying it's amazing. It's amazing. If you're listening afterwards, we appreciate you as well. But try to catch the live show. I know this is a little random for us, a Monday.
I know. You know what? We're working around their kids' camp schedule. The kids were supposed to be in camp, and then we had a sick kid. But I so appreciate their time, because honestly, having to balance 3 kids, a weekday show in the middle of the day, that's not easy. So props to them. Thank you again, Tori and Daniel, for doing that, because that was so much fun. I love them so much. So Daniel mentioned at the end there, Pittsburgh. Yes. And we will be in Pittsburgh this weekend. We're going to head in on Friday. I'm going to the game Friday night. I'm curious if he's going to pitch on Friday. Maybe he's going to pitch on Saturday. Hopefully not Sunday. Watch. It's going to happen. I know, it's going to be Sunday as we're on the plane going home. Yeah, right. So head on down to the pregame if you're going to be in Pittsburgh. Even if you're not sitting with us, you could certainly still come to the pregame party. So we're going to be at McFadden's. It's right near the left field entrance, I believe. Can't miss it. The whole area turns into basically a party. They close the streets down. It's a really fun time. Right. So Coors Light, our good friends at Coors Light, is going to be the drink specials. So it's going to be the drink specials are from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. for anyone in our event t-shirt. So if you're coming, definitely wear your Pit It in the Books t-shirt, which Howie Rose says he loves. Unfortunately, he's not going to be on the call this weekend. Oh, no. He's off this weekend. Of course he is. Because he can come. I sent him a tweet. I'm like, hey, if and when the Mets win on Saturday, can you say Pit It in the Books instead? And he says, I'm actually not going to be there. Oh, that stinks. Well, he wouldn't be there anyway, but he's not doing the call. Right. So we're going to be there this Saturday. It's on 211 North Shore Drive. Not that you really need the address. Just go to the ballpark and go to McFadden's. The specials are going to run from 3 to 7 o'clock. The game's at 7, so you're probably not going to want to be there till 7, so you can walk over and see first pitch.
$3 Coors Lights, and $5 well drinks if you are sitting with us. So definitely come on down. You went there last time as well.
I did. I spent a lot of time in that McAdams. I had a great time.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
So after you're done with the event, if you happen to go to the outing with us and you want to do something with your t-shirts, go to Project Repat USA on Instagram, follow their account, get in the running for the free t-shirt quilt. So they take t-shirts or jerseys or polo shirts or whatever your favorite garment is, they cut it into squares and turn it into a t-shirt quilt. This all started back in 2012 and they have over 500,000 happy customers. What they're doing specifically for our listeners and viewers is they are giving away a free t-shirt quilt every month, specifically to a Mets fan. So all you have to do is go to Project Repat USA on Instagram, follow their account, and each month they will select one winner to win a free t-shirt quilt. If you don't happen to win or you want to buy a second one, go to their website. It's projectrepat.com. And definitely show them some love because they show it to us and they are big supporters of the show. So we are closing in on an hour now. We do have to get to our share contest winners from last week.
Yes. Oh, and I'm sorry. I have to give a shout out to fact checker Danny Boy, who I met at the game and just said I would do that. Hello, Danny Boy. Thank you.
Hello, Danny Boy. And you know what? I like that people, they don't mind that we call them the fact checkers.
They loved it. And that's why I wanted to encourage that. And by giving him the shout out.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be a fact checker. Because we don't have any staff.
Yeah.
This is it.
You are our staff.
You're looking at it.
Yeah.
I got the soundboard here. I got some buttons to push. And
the button.
We got some, I don't know if you guys can hear. We got some doorbells going on.
Let's give Lizzie some credit. She helps us out when letting us know if she can hear us or not. So
Lizzie got it off the hook with the show now because we don't do calls anymore. Lizzie had to run back and forth.
Although she did just go answer the door when the doorbell was ringing, if anyone heard that. Sorry.
So shout out to everyone here.
Thanks, Lizzie.
And especially Megan and
too.
Lizzie last week got all those packages out to Pittsburgh. So we were kind of under the gun there. We lost 4th of July, which was Sunday. We were off on Monday, so we did our best to get the packages out. But let's get to last week's winners.
Yes.
All you have to do right now, if you want to be in the running for next week, is just share the show on Twitter at KTKelly172 and on Facebook, Travis Yee. They are both getting the DeGrom jersey from last week.
Is it a jersey or replica jersey?
They call it a replica jersey, but it's a jersey.
Okay, cool.
It's a jersey, button-up jersey.
Love it.
So they're the winners from last week. Get involved for next week. Just share the show, and that's how you'll be put in the running. If you are going to LA with us, I know that time is of the essence here because it's only, I don't know how many weeks away, but it's next month. I am going to have the discounted hotel link today.
Oh, cool.
So I know I've been saying that last week, and it is locked up. I know where we're staying. I just don't have the link yet. I should have it sometime this morning, and we will email everyone that's going. If for some reason you don't get the email, I will put the link in the listing of the LA tickets, which are now sold out, but the listing will update with the link for the hotel if you want to secure a hotel room. So did we get to everything?
I think so. Oh, my sad news.
Oh, sad news. Julia has a koala bear that died?
No, I adopted koalas at a Australia koala hospital after all the wildfires last year, and the koala I adopted has passed away. So R.I.P. Bayabara Jones.
I don't have any sad sounds here.
It's fine. Just do the fart noise.
Oh. That's
fucked up.
Yes. Sorry, your koala bear died.
About it. I'm going to adopt another one so I can still be making a difference for koalas everywhere. So
all right,
that's
guys.
my sad news.
So listen, we'll see you in Pittsburgh. Show next Monday. Are we doing a show next Monday right after Pittsburgh?
We're gonna be shot. Maybe we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it. I think we are, but I don't think it's going to be at 10:15 in the morning.
Definitely not.
Thank you guys for watching. Tell your friends to watch the replay if you happen to miss the interview. Thank you to the Murphys for coming on.
Yes, the best.
Shout out to Coors Light, Dugout Mugs, Project Repat,
and Prom Series.
We will see you guys next week. Have fun in Pittsburgh, and let's go Mets. Good luck to Pete tonight.
Yes, let's go Pete. Repeat.
LFGM.
Love it.
See you guys.
Bye.